Awesome.
Dun, dun. um, Please do not be afraid. Some our followers will write in Russian in the chat, and if we have some cool question, I can translate them for you. That's why we have a Gandalf here, and he says, "Hello, I'm here. Let's start." So let's start. Okay, this is Moni
Cool.
Talks, Game People podcasts, and we continue our English amas or streams, how we say in Russian. And today we have Min Finance, Fibo, and Head. Hello, guys. How are you? How's the day?
Hi. Good afternoon, I think it is.
Yeah,
Good afternoon. We're happy to be here.
yeah.
Yeah, really happy.
We're really happy that you came, and I think we can start with some simple question. And let's start with Fibo. What did you do before crypto, and how did you enter this crypto space, crypto world?
Okay, cool. That's a good question. So at least myself, I'm a college dropout after about like 3 years and 8 years on college, like doing electric engineering. But I have been always working since high school heavily on web development. It's a passion of mine. I went from working from a very small companies, like
Mm-hmm.
4 to 5 employees,
Mm-hmm.
to working at a really large tech company based in San Francisco, where at the end of the day, I actually ended up developing as a tech lead, and for the last year there as a manager for a cross backend and front end team. Uh, as how I got into crypto, I'm actually pretty new here. And funnily enough, my first contact with crypto was meme finance. Uh, Up until last year, I was working for this large company as a Web2 developer. But somewhere around last year, Jed and Sam, which is our other founder, started with the idea of meme finance. They started working on it, and we three know each other for a long time already. Uh, and they kept pushing me to join as the web developer. Finally, I was on board with the idea and just started working on it. So last year, I actually left my full time job on Web2 to fully dedicate my time to finance. And that's basically how I came into crypto. Like I had heard from Jed and Sam for a long time since they were already working on the space. Uh, but I didn't have like no ETH, no BTC, nothing. I just
Mm-hmm.
started last year to start to buy some of these.
So we can say that you are like early adopter. Yep, one of
Yeah.
early adopters. Okay, the same question to Head. What did you do before crypto, and how did you enter this space?
Yeah, so I am a programmer. I am also a college dropout, but I think I did like 2 or 3 years of computer science, so not that much. Um, I was working for a company that developed software programs for banks in South America. I am from South America, and
Mhm.
there I started to realize that the financial system is pretty much fucked up. It's too much legacy code. Like it's
Mhm.
impossible to innovate. You might take 6 months to release a feature, and that's like unbearable to someone as anxious as me that always want to develop. In that job, I started to have some free time and started to listen to Andreas Antonopoulos, the Bitcoin guru, let's say. Um, and from Andreas, I tried to join. Like I realized that I wanted to join the crypto space in 2017. So I'm a bit of an OG, not that much of an OG, but 2017. It's already like 5 years from there. I started working for a software developer company in South America that worked on crypto on the crypto space. And from there on out, I joined a company called Experimental back in the day. We used
Mhm.
to do crypto gaming, like decentralized gaming. Actually, we were the first ones to go into a side chain, to a plasma chain that was called Loom chain. back in the day. Right now, Loomchain does not exist anymore. So imagine how old this was. Um, and yeah, that's basically what I was doing before crypto, and how did I enter the crypto space. From experimental, I jumped to another DAO that I'm working right now as an anon, part time, helping with some stuff, where we have like billions of TVL. So it's a good training ground for me. Um, yeah, and like 1 year ago, we with some we had the idea of creating decentralized aggregator, cost average, like mean finance, and from there on out we started building the team basically.
Okay, great. So you have a long way, to be honest, and Fibo is an early adopter, but that's good. It's, like connection. Yeah, just joke. And let's speak about Min Finance. And
Sure.
my question is, for whom are you developing Min Finance? I mean, who is your user? What goals are you reaching?
Obviously, the correct answer is for the community, right?
Yep.
Uh, but at the basis of the idea of meme finance, it came from a need that we had. Basically, we were not able to do DCA in a decentralized and
Hmm.
permissionless way. Uh, so it really comes down to we built meme finance because we wanted to do something that we could not do on DeFi. Uh, Now, obviously, we have a lot more users than just us three now. So we are starting to gather community feedback to see where they want to take Meme Finance to, what features do they want to build into it, and that kind of stuff. Like we're trying to hear about what are the needs from our users, not just from ourselves now. Like now we can do DCA on a decentralized way. Our goal that we wanted for ourselves is fulfilled. Now we want to take mean finance into the next step. And that means actually hearing from our community what they want to do with mean finance.
Yeah, I think like another good aspect to whom we are building Min Finance for, it's for other protocols to use. I think like a big theme in DeFi and in the crypto space right now, it's going to be protocol to protocol building, especially because there's so much TVL running around. Like for example, Wayern works with Alchemix, and Alchemix works with, I don't know, with other protocols that that move TVL around between them. So I think Min Finance can go like a money Lego into those interactions. For example, I know yield aggregators like KeeperDAO, Wayern Finance, and some others, and Harvest Finance, for example. They harvest like 300K of USD in a more illiquid cryptocurrency, and they dump it in one go. So you're basically killing the liquidity for that coin, and also getting the worst execution price. So if you put Min Finance in the middle of that, you can like not dump all the liquidity at once, but create some DCA positions in there. Also, one good thing to aim Min Finance for would be like other DAOs treasuries, because for example, I don't know, Uniswap might have, well, or Chainlink has a 20 billion treasury, and they need to deploy that fund somehow, more intelligently, let's say.
Hmm.
They cannot go on buying spot price every time with their link. So yeah, that's basically who are we building Min Finance for, right? There's like the retail players, that's us basically, and the protocols. And I think that there's a question in YouTube asking where are we from. At least me myself, I'm from Argentina,
Hmm.
and this has to do a lot with why did we wanted to build a DCA product, because we know the struggles here. People can't pay $30 a swap. Um, so by aggregating our users, we can make swapping accessible to everyone in mainnet.
Yeah, about swaps. It's a lot of memes and jokes about costs. Especially I was laughing if some off topic. I was laughing at one pic meme about McDonald's and Ethereum. But if you bought a Big Mac, you have to pay more than this Big Mac costs. So yes, it's interesting. Yeah. Let's continue about I saw this question about where you're from, and so the next one is my question. Why do you guys don't show your faces? Why team anon?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we actually, when we first started to think how we're going to market Mean Finance, or how we're going to make Mean Finance public, we actually started really thinking deep about, okay, do we want to go public? Do we want to go anon? Do we want to make a mix of both? Uh, at the end of the day, what really drove our decision to either not show our faces or our names is because of the current situation with all the market regulators that are going on. You've seen the examples of what happened to sushi and other protocols where the SEC got involved, for example. We thought that at least for our first going out public, we would go anon. This doesn't mean that it can't change on the future where we actually say, hey, we were these people at the finally. But at least for now, we thought it was safer, at least for us, to go as anons. I think that's the main reason that we took that.
Yeah, I think like I'm not so scared of the regulation aspect right now because there are ways of raising money doing it like legally. If you want to raise money or whatever from the community or even issuing a token, of course, there's a lot of risk there. That's something else. But I think like my experience on the space has taught me that the mob in Twitter can get really aggressive. So it's not fun when you have a protocol, let's say, with 2 billion TVL and people start tagging you. And like if you get a hack or something on the front end breaks, like you have a lot of people with a lot of money involved screaming at you on Twitter. So we have seen that the crypto Twitter environment can get really nasty, and that's not healthy for anyone. So I think like having a split personality with an anon doesn't mean not being responsible for it. Just that you can turn off that mob in Twitter for quite some time and go like on the day with your friends without like people screaming at you. Basically, I think it's for mental health reasons also, right? And also like the good thing about anonymity on our ecosystem, it's like that no one cares about your background. They just care about you building, right?
Yep.
It's not bringing your old ego into the game. Like I told you, I work for another DAO part time, and no one cares. Why do I need to say what DAO, who am I, etc. Right? I just need to prove myself building in finance.
Yeah, great question, and I want to add that you guys make some job for BuzzFeed, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We can have some money by doxing, but I hope that it will never happen. But yes, it's a good question because good answer. Because it's like when I always remember the story. It's like when Andre Kanye told about token. When you have token and project, nobody cares about your project. Everybody cares only about token price. So sometimes, especially in Russia, maybe in Ukraine, in the CIS region, people care about personalities. So what did you do before? They follow Twitter, they see every word, and sometimes you can say something wrong maybe, and a community can kill you just for it. But when you just build, no problems, I think.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel pretty close to what Andre Cronje always says in his post. Like, for example, bear
Yep.
market bull development, for example,
Yep.
and building in DeFi sucks. I completely agree with everything he says, because like if you it's so hard to build, and whenever you make a little mistake, the mobs get angry because of the token price, for example. So yeah, I think Andre it's an awesome builder, but also has some pretty good insight in like what creating in DeFi as a developer might mean, right? Like what happens to you when you build for DeFi. Yeah.
So one good question from Artyom from the chat. I will translate it. Um, Do we really need new solutions for protocols? Is it true that the moment came that we need something apart from just crypto to crypto? Did you get it? I
Uh,
hope.
I think I didn't understand the context of the question. Like,
Artyom is thinking that it's not the time for new solutions for protocols because we work just crypto for crypto and nothing more. He thinks.
got it. So I think it's always a new time for new protocols, right? I mean, the at the moment that we stop developing new protocols, crypto is dead. Basically, the whole crypto space is built over innovation. So we're seeing very cool new stuff, like for example, the oracles that Uniswap added, Chainlink adding other type of oracles, uh, a lot of NFT projects that are really doing something very, very innovative. You got things like Ubi, the universal basic income from Proof of Humanity. That's amazing. And innovation is what's going to get new people, which are not on the crypto space, into crypto. They're going to see, oh shit, that's a really cool idea. I want to see how to do that. Like for example, the other day I showed a friend Aave Gotchi, which is basically a Tamagotchi with Aave, and he isn't on crypto. He doesn't want to invest in that, but he saw Aave Gotchi and he wanted to get into that. Like I want to have a Tamagotchi as an NFT. Uh, so I think that's why we still need to build protocols. We still have a long way to go in the crypto space to improve our users' experience uh, into how they can. It's not just about money, right? You don't always have to think about okay, every protocol is just about making more money or making money more secure. Uh, you got to think about the real use case there. For example, NFTs, which are right now just thought of JPEGs and images, the underlying technology for that is amazing. Like having the real ownership of something could translate into a bunch of different things. For example, on the scripture of a house, you could have the scripture of a house as an NFT, and that can actually get transferred to just one individual owner. That's just an example.
Okay.
And
Uh-huh.
at some times we're going to get more protocols that build things more innovation, and we're going to look back in 2 years. We're going to look back and say, okay, that was we were in a really primitive state. Now this is a new ecosystem.
Okay. So,
Yeah, and also
yep,
sorry
yep.
for
So
the
ahead.
crypto part. I think that at least myself, I live in crypto. I almost don't handle fiat money anymore. Maybe that's got to do with South America and especially Argentina being such a
Yeah.
crypto hub. Like here, people accept crypto a lot. It accepts crypto in the Tron blockchain or in the Binance Smart Chain. Maybe not what I want, but at least crypto is really alive here.
Okay. So, guys, we had the question from the forum, and we're speaking about building protocols, building. But could you please tell me what challenges, what problems did you meet while building? And how did you solve them, and what benefits did you get from it? It's really interesting process. Fibo.
Yeah. Um, so obviously we made a shit ton of mistakes. As any new project does, you make mistakes because you're building something new or building something that hasn't been done before, or you're trying to improve something that has been done.
Hmm.
Uh, so we made a lot of mistakes. I think our biggest one was on our first version. into how our contract actually worked. So when you created a position for a new pair, that actually deployed a new contract just for that pair. So you
Mhm.
had, like, for example, the FUSDC contract deployed on mainnet, and all positions went into that contract. That meant that the cost for creating the first position was amazingly high, like incredibly high. I think it was like $1,500 just to create one position on mainnet, which it's not going to get used that much if it costs that much. Our liquidity was dispersed around all these server contracts, and we could not take advantage of doing coincidence of one between all these pairs when you wanted to swap. Um, so that was really a breaking point where we actually had to sit down at a table and say, okay, how can we solve this? What's the best way to solve this? And now for our V2, all the pairs live on the same contract. This means that the costs are really, really low now. The incentives for our swappers are higher since they can actually take a flash loan with all the liquidity from the contract and not just a flash loan from the liquidity of the pair. Um, it's also way easier to be able to make the swaps for all the positions, since now you can do a lot of coincidence on once between a lot of pairs. You might have to just swap 5 pairs and you just need to provide one type of token. um, I think that was the biggest thing that we encountered that we had to solve.
Yeah, and I think like one of our biggest mistakes was in our V1. We didn't
Hmm.
audit the contract, not because we didn't want to pay, although it's like a shit ton of money, a really, really big amount of money for like anyone that's not a millionaire. Um, but if we didn't audit our contracts, no one wanted to use it. No one in the community, no protocol will be able to integrate with you. But the thing for about audits for us, it's that they are stamp of approvals, right? And we were going to pay for an audit company to say, hey, this is secure, but we didn't trust that the audit process was going to be really good, because in order to pay a really good audit, you need to pay like 100K or 200K, and you need to wait for 6 months until they have a slot open. um, so we didn't want to be disingenuous with our community, but it seems that people really, really want the stamp of approval. And even though I personally might not entirely agree, I do understand why another people that's not a programmer might understand that, hey, this has an audit, therefore it's safer. It's not safe, it's safer. So yeah, I think that was a big mistake on us, and we heard the community and we learned from it. And now our B2 is audited by 2 companies. So that's really, really good, and we can start working on integrations with other protocols also.
Hmm.
Yeah, but so we have in chat some questions about your second version, and let's forget bad times with problems and speak about bright times about your second version. Head, how can you describe me the second version of Mean Finance? What did you change? In some words, just in some sentences.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Uh, Go ahead. Go ahead, Greg.
No, no, no. Go
All
for
yours.
it, bro. Go for it.
Okay. Uh, so we really worked very, very hard on the V2, and we grabbed all the lessons that we learned from our V1, and we want to expand that. So we made a lot. The V2 is really a lot of changes into it. Gas costs are less. We have more frequencies that we can handle. Right now, only daily and weekly are enabled, but our contracts can actually support frequencies as low as 5 minutes, which is going to be great when we actually want to swap a lot of money. So it does it really fast. Uh, we added more details for our users into the page. Before, you just had a little card that said how many funds your position had, how many had swapped, basically if you could withdraw or not. Now we added a full position page into it. It has all the position history that has been actually applied to your position, when a swap has been applied, when you have modified it, when you have withdrawal. We have a few more graphs to show how your position has evolved through time, like your funds going down and your swap liquidity going up, which is actually what you want on a DCA. We added permission manager management, which is a really big stuff because this is what's going to make me finance a money label. So basically, giving permissions to another contracts to interact with your position. Someone could be the contract, for example, to withdraw for your position, stake that liquidity into some other protocol, or do a lot of stuff that we still haven't imagined the full extent to it. That's a big one. We now allow actually depositing directly from ETH or whatever protocol token we're talking about, like Matic, BNB, I don't know, whichever other Phantom, instead of just allowing ERC20s like WETH or WMatic, like whatever protocol. Okay. Well, as I said, we moved all the liquidity into just one contract, so flash loans are amazing now. A lot of coincidences at once. I think I'm probably missing a few stuff, Jet. Maybe you can fill me in.
No, I think like on the general idea, you did a good recap. Like it's permission management, gas costs, front end definitions, and more features in front end for users to have more control over the positions. So yeah, I think that's a good recap. There's a lot of stuff that went into the smart contracts, obviously, but that doesn't affect in the final sense for the user.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for answers. All links to your Twitter and website we will leave in bio of YouTube. And you know, the last question about me finance, it is from the form. You know, it's I don't really want to hurt someone, but it's not so intelligent question. Let it be, but it's funny to me, and let me read it. Why you say mean finance is the state of the art DCA protocol? Question.
That's a good
Okay.
question. So we actually think it's the state of the art protocol. We wouldn't market it as the bullshit protocol if we didn't thought about it. We think it's state of the art because we haven't seen other protocols work with DCA the way that we do. No other. You actually, I don't think right now you have other decentralized DCA protocol that can actually reduce the gas cost as much as we do. So that's why we think it's state of the art, and it's also state of the art because it's fairly new.
Yeah, and let's say, for example, it's not about gas costs. Our code is really clean, and the idea that we have implemented, because our protocol is fully open, there's in other DCA protocols they need to execute the swaps manually, but in our protocol anyone can execute the swaps and get a fee. It's pretty complex. I'm not going to say like it's easy. It's like taking a flash loan through a smart contract, but anyone can do it. Market makers can do it. If we die tomorrow, the protocol can go on. The protocol does not need you. And for me, that I have been 5 years in this space, it's really, really important because it's really decentralized and it's really open. Yes, basically that. And I think our code is awesome, and how we have implemented our stuff, it's really, really cool. For example, there was another DCA protocol in Polygon that used a solution that has been hacked today because it had a lot of code, unnecessary code, etc. So I think we have come to anyone can get hacked, by the way, just bad luck for them. Sorry, guys. But I think our code, it's like top quality. So that's why I also think it's like the state of the art, because it's one of the best versions that you can get right now.
You know, simple question, complicated answers. Thank you. So let's speak let's speak about you guys, with Timonon and blah blah blah. But Fibo, let's start with you. What do you do in your free time? How do you, I don't know, chill from crypto? Do you have any hobbies?
Uh, so normally I'm a full time gamer. I try to play as much as I can on my free time, and whenever I'm not playing, I'm cooking. I love with all my heart cooking all kind of food. So that's mostly what I do.
Cooking has some it's the same like protocol building in some
Yeah,
areas. I
yeah.
think.
You need
Yeah,
to follow a set of steps, do it at the
yeah.
correct time. I like it. It's very structured.
Yeah,
And
that's a good analogy.
yeah. And if you make a little mistake, everyone blame you.
Yeah, of course. Oh, it's
And
too
head,
salty.
yeah,
Such-
yeah, head, and you.
I like to do some sports. I play, like, obviously I'm from Argentina, so I play football. I like playing tennis also. I am trying to get some more time outdoors, right? Because being a developer in this space in crypto never sleeps. It comes from the nature of the openness that crypto has. Like, for example, we are talking with you that you're in Russia, I don't know, or the USA. Like, there's always someone awake in crypto to talk with some cool stuff about. So you really need to make an extra effort to disconnect yourself from
Yeah,
the ecosystem. And when you disconnect from our ecosystem, you lose alpha. You lose the possibility of winning money or being there. But sometimes you need to sacrifice some alpha for your mental health. So I'm trying to get my more time outdoors, to take more time on the weekends with my significant other. So yeah, I don't like to cook that much, but I like to go and eat in fancy restaurants. But yeah, I love doing that. Sports, meditating, to keep a healthy brain, healthy mind. Uh, so yeah, that's basically what I'm doing these days.
yeah. Meditating is cool, and it's. I'm really happy, but every time I ask this question, I hear about mental health, that we have to take care, about ourselves, and we can't earn all the world's money. That's why 24/7 sitting in crypto you can go crazy. Yep, that's cool. And
Yeah. I think
the
a lot
last,
of people like connect themselves and don't disconnect because they are going to lose money, and
yeah,
there's always going to be time to make more money. But
yeah,
once you have broken your mind because of the anxiety of or whatever, there's no easy way back. You can get healthier, but it's not easy.
yep. It's like a long distance, not short one. So, the last question.
yeah.
Head. Let's start with you. Let's start with head. If not crypto, when what?
Uh, it's a really tricky question. When I knew about crypto, I couldn't do anything else. I cannot do anything else in my life besides crypto because I'm a programmer, and anything else I would do would be really, really, really boring. I would not be improving what I think needs to get improved. And the openness of our ecosystem means that I can get a flash loan of billions of dollars with 10 lines of code. So for me, it's really difficult. I think that if it was not crypto, it would be security,
Mhm.
yeah, information security, basically, trying to be a white hat and all that stuff. That would have been my way probably.
Working with Kevin Mitnick, for example. And Fibo,
Exactly.
if not crypto, then what?
Yeah, it's kind of the same, right? It's a very difficult question. Like it's very hard for me to think now what I would do besides crypto.
I know.
Really, the ecosystem has blown my mind. There are so many ways to contribute into making it better than what it is all the time. If you had asked me this question a year ago, the answer will be crystal clear for me.
Mhm.
Just keep on getting promotions on a Web 2 job into more of a management position. Now, I'm not so sure. Uh, I I think I really need to contribute to a project that allows users to really be free, like crypto does, or at least to have a big social impact. I don't think I can go back just to a big four tech job that does features for users or for other companies, which is fine if anybody likes that. But I don't think I can go that way anymore. Now the ideas are what driving me.
What about you, Grayson? If not
Uh,
crypto, then what?
you know, you're the first one who asked me the same question back, and so, I don't know. you know,
What the
may,
heck?
maybe I'm an actor and journalist. That's why maybe I would go to journalism and or to the theater. And some guys in chat tried to ask me this question, and I told that okay, I will answer, full answer. But when someone will um how to say, when someone will invite me to the AMA or interview, with a lot of views, I will answer. But for now, I don't know what to answer. It's funny that a lot of Russian speakers who were at our streams, at our AMAs, and they told something like, I will be homeless, or I would be lying drunk,
Yeah,
near my house, something like that. So, but we hope that crypto will never die, and we will never, know the answer for this question. We hope so.
yeah. Let's hope so.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. Great armor. I hope that
Yeah.
guys in the chat liked it too. So tomorrow I think that we'll make time codes for the day after, something quite like that.
Okay.
I wish you luck, and I hope to that one day in finance will grow, and we will invite you once again. Yep, chat likes
That's
this.
our hope too.
Hopefully,
Thank you,
hopefully.
thank you,
Thanks
guys.
so much for your time
Have a
and
great
for
day,
inviting us.
evening. Goodbye.
Thank you for
It was.
inviting
Have a
us.
great day.
Have a good
Bye
day.
bye.